Hello. People have been asking me, some of my friends have been asking me to give a tour of my Mechanist Lair build. I built a basic manufacturing plant, the Mechanist Lair. Let's go in and take a quick look around. So here I have several manufacturing plants on this level of the build. What we have is a terminal, controls all the build, controls all the components, everything that's being built. This vacuum hopper pulls from the workstation in the Mechanist Lair. Things go down this conveyor. Basically any kind of junk or components come down here. It does pass under this hopper, and when we get to the second floor you'll see what that hopper is for, and what it does, it goes over this conveyor belt here. So junk comes down here and goes to these component sorters. So the way a component sorter works is you put some piece of material into it, some component, and any piece of junk which goes through it and has that component, it sends out down this side conveyor belt here and goes to the manufacturing plant. This one is an auto loom which builds clothes. Once the auto loom produces it, it comes out and goes into the conveyor storage and is stored in these storage units. Now, first one is an auto loom. This is a weapon forge, and this is a ammunition plant. So things go in there. Once the components come through here, if they're not sorted, if they're not pulled out by the component sorters, if they have something that is not used, if I'm not building any clothes and let's say cloth comes through, something with cloth, it would come through here and it would go up this conveyor belt lift and go to the second floor. Let's go look and see what's on the second floor. And we could have taken the elevator up. This is the elevator. The second floor has two more builders, an armor forge, and a food processor. So again, these component sorters, you put an item in. If it matches, if a component within that item matches, it sends the item down here to the forges. If nothing matches, if it's a component that I'm not using on this particular round to build, it ends up here in this hopper. It will come down this conveyor belt here and end up in this hopper. Then on a later date, I could take that hopper and launch directly from there without having to put everything back into the workshop. So it would end up here in this hopper. I could then turn on the hopper. Rather than the vacuum hopper pulling it from the workshop, it would just fall down from here and land onto this conveyor belt. If you guys want to see it in action, this is the master switch. It turns on everything except this hopper. So let's flip the master switch. Well, before we do that, one other thing I want to show you. There's a terminal that I have here. This terminal is used to set up what you want to build. You can control the hopper with it, basically how fast and how hard things shoot out from in the hopper. You can send things pretty quickly down the line if you like. The auto loom, a weapon forge, ammunition plant. So we're going to build 10mm pistols. So we're doing this, and we're going to select 10mm pistols. It gives you the components that the 10mm pistols need to be built. So basically 3 adhesive, 1 gear, 2 oil, 6 screws, 2 springs, and 5 pieces of steel. So we're going to build that. And we're going to build 10mm ammunition. which is lead and fertilizer. And to show you, I've loaded those very things into these component sorters. If you look here, fertilizer and lead for the ammunition, and if you look in here, adhesive, oil, gear, spring, and steel. Any of those, anything comes on with those items, and it sends it to the forge. Let's start it up. So here we go. Vacuum hopper is pulling things out. I don't know if that dumbbell is going to make it all the way around. It's going to be interesting to see how that goes. So remember, this component this component sorter is looking for any of these items. So if it hits one of these, you will hear a ding, and rather than coming this way, it will be sent the other way to the forge. Let's see if anything comes through. And this one is looking for lead and fertilizer. So those dumbbells over there for sure contain lead. So once they hit, you're gonna see them come through. Those dumbbells are awful big, though. I don't know if they're gonna make it through those component sorters. Big things tend to get things to clog up, tend to clog up the system. And we hear our first ding, dumbbell comes through. Did it not make it to the... And there you see our forge in the background working, building ammunition. Oh, I think I knocked that off. No, maybe not. And here's our ammunition coming out. And as I said, that will be stored here. They come out in boxes of 10 rounds. We haven't got anything for our pistols yet, though. Once these chew through whatever it is they're going to chew through and break down the items, they will leave bits and pieces behind. So there may be extra things. Like let's say it pulls a clipboard into here because the clipboard has a screw on it. So the screw will come out, it will disassemble this clipboard, pull the screw out, use the screw to manufacture the gun, and the wood is not used in the manufacture of the gun. So the wood will be left over inside the forge afterwards. Any components that are not used by the current recipe in the forge simply stays in there. You have to pull them out and move them back either to the workshop or to the hopper. Our ammunition plant here is hard at work. While waiting on that to kick us out some pistols, let's go upstairs and we'll take a look at what happens to all the components that are not used and don't make it through. So, well, we got something manufacturing up here. I didn't think I had anything building up here. What are we building? An armor forge. It has a wrench in it, and it must be malfunctioning. There's only a wrench, and there's no armor being built. I'll take it out, and maybe it'll settle down. I don't know. So, I don't see anything coming through yet. Our The Mechanist Lair is a strange place to build things. This space back here is almost completely wasted because of these bars. It's almost impossible to get back there. You can come through the middle, but I have my conveyor belts there, so that makes it kind of inconvenient to get back there. But those bars block off everything. Okay, here comes a component. It wasn't used by any of our recipes. It is a toothbrush. It drops into the hopper, and that's a holding spot for all these things that are not used by the recipes that we are running downstairs. Let me take you upstairs from here, and I'll show you what else I have going in the Mechanist Lair. The Mechanist Lair, unfortunately, is incomplete. This is going to be, I don't have it done yet, I have to move stuff from a lot of other settlements. This is going to be a personal storage area where I have very large weapons, basically to display all the weapons and all of the armors that I have collected. I have many more than this. I just haven't moved them. Here yet, and some of my power armors. So that's what the third floor of the Mechanist Lair is going to be, and the fourth floor, if you're interested in what the fourth floor is going to be, this is the fourth floor. It's rather dark. I haven't built really anything here yet. We'll turn on our flashlight. This is going to be my personal living area. So it's going to be beds and furniture and a personal space for me. We have access to other parts of the Mechanist Lair through these different levels and layers. I haven't done this yet because, let me show you. As you can see, up in the upper right hand corner, the build size is almost maxed out. I have been using the weapon and armor drop glitch to reduce that size. This is a much bigger build than I think was ever intended for the Mechanist Lair. So as I come in and drop things here, I scrap armors and clothing, especially because I like to build clothing for my settlers. So I'll scrap those, and when they get scrapped, they subtract from the build size, and then I'm able to build a little bit more as I need to. Let's go down and see if we have any pistols yet that have come out of our forge. Nope, no pistols yet. I hope I have enough components to build pistols. I didn't specifically check to see if I did, but it would work the same way as the ammunition forge is working here. As you can see, I have 320 10mm rounds already built. Wonder what we're missing for our weapon forge. Adhesive, maybe. I don't see any adhesive in here. It's probably what we're missing. So here's the second part of my plan. This robot here is named Junk 5. I have 5 of these robots. Here. What I do with them is move them throughout the Commonwealth, and I send them on their way. And then when I am in whatever settlement I sent them to, I load up items from the workshop and bring it back here to the Mechanist Lair to add to my manufacturing. So let me move him. We will send him to, let's send him to Red Rocket. And then next time I'm at Red Rocket, I will load him up. Next time I'm at Red Rocket, I will load him up, come back here, and then when he comes here, I unload him and put it into the workshop. The strange thing about the workshop and manufacturing, when I have a supply line set up, so I can build here, and it pulls components from other settlements when I'm using the build mode from the workshop, but it does not use. It will not pull from the workshop the actual junk and the actual items from there. You can only build with it from the from in workshop mode. If you're trying to take things out, you can only take things out that have specifically been put into the workshop. So supply lines do not count for manufacturing; they only count for building. I hope that makes some sense, and I hope I explained that well enough that people will understand. Leave a comment, ask me a question. If you have any questions about manufacturing or how any of the manufacturing machines work inside of Fallout, I'd be interested to hear it, and I certainly would answer any questions posted to me. By the way, this is a strictly vanilla build. I am not using any mods or anything in this build. It's all straight out of the box. I do have all the DLCs, but I have no other mods. Thank you very much. Give a like and post a comment.